Hey everybody.
Hi.
My name is Christa.
Kevin.
And we are the husband and wife team behind LCRC Raceway. Welcome to another edition of Hump Day Happy Hour. It's 1 hour that we visit with... Oh, please.
What happened?
I don't think they can hear it, but I can hear it. Sorry about that, guys. Woo. So it had popped up us live, so the audio was playing back. I could hear myself with a delay. It was very shocking.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, sorry about that. Today is a special episode of Hump Day Happy Hour because it is an Ask Anything episode. Start thinking about your questions. We're going to do a little bit of a life update, talk about what's going on in the Muma household around LCRC, and then we're going to open it up to questions. Ask us anything you want. If we were in a podcast interview, what would your questions be? So before we start any of that, we are going to say hello to our friends in the comments. He was first to the comments. He wins the award. Taylor DeLusa.
Do you remember when you used to give me the devil for doing that?
No, I don't remember that at all. Hi, Taylor. Welcome. Mike says you should probably get back to work. Alex is down to 2 more showers before he sees us again, which is very concerning considering it's still a
22 days
away. There's my friend Robin Heil. Thank you for joining us. Taylor says he's on break to join, so come on, give him a break.
Yeah,
while he's on break. Hello to the Garris family. Thank you for joining us.
Brock, I got your message. I did respond to you. I will do my best to get in touch with you tomorrow and we can talk details.
Awesome. And there's my friend Tim Long. Thank you for joining us, Tim. I can't wait to see you this August for a month. Yeah. Let us know your arrival date so we can prepare accordingly. Maybe we'll be moved out of the camper by then. Otherwise, welcome to the party.
Yeah.
If you thought it was rough living in the camper, just one of you, imagine all 4 of us together.
And the dog.
And the dog.
And the dog.
Oh, good times. There's our friends Shane and Michelle. Thank you for joining us, guys. And there's my friend Rick. Over on YouTube. Thank you. He said he can hear us. If anybody else wants to comment on YouTube, I know you're watching, but you never jump in the comments, probably because you're watching on TV and there's not really a place to comment. I get that. No
Never
problem.
really thought of it that way.
Yeah, no, Jason told me that. He's like, I watch it on the TV screen. There's not like a comment window that pops up on the TV screen.
You can't like tell Alexa, comment, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's not how that works. Okay. Sorry. You know, TV, we get to watch a little bit in the camper when we go to bed at night, but I haven't got to like watch any of my like ABC 27, my local news or weather or any of that. The shop TV was one of the things that took a hit in the storm damage. So I got a new TV, but it doesn't fit on the shelf, and I'm struggling in life with that, to be honest, but.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It makes me realize that we do not need TV as much as I thought we did. So.
Yeah. No, listen, I don't know. I just feel like we used to always joke about burning the candle at both ends and whatnot, and like then
we knew then.
And then the dumpster fire thing came up, and it's just. I think we're just a constant dumpster fire. It's just a matter of how high the flames are.
It is true. I was thinking about that today. I feel like we always live in a little bit of a constant stress. So what's a little bit more?
Yeah.
Both of my friends, Tim, are now in the comments too. So hello to Tim, and then also to Tim, and there's Shane.
Hi, Shane.
So guys, start thinking about your questions. It is going to be Ask Us Anything night, and if you guys don't ask anything, it will be very awkward. So start thinking about your questions.
Does that mean I could get to tell a long story? For like 48 minutes or so?
If no one's asking questions, I will just let you talk and I will not kick you under the table. So you guys better think of some questions. If there's questions, we got to move on. We can't just stick in the... Hey, let's move on right now by talking about what's going on at the farm.
Yeah. What is going on at the farm?
Well, first things first, I want to share. I'm going to switch the screen over so you guys can see some video. Well, actually, we can talk about it first. We've been working pretty hard at the farm. Obviously, we are. So if you're new around here, which you're not, but our roof blew off. We had extreme water damage in the apartment above the shop, which is where we lived. And we've been steadily working on an 1870s farmhouse that is about 4 miles from here. And we've been renovating it, but we just got the wick turned up on that process. The project needs to move a little faster because we are currently living in a camper. And that is just only going to work for a limited amount of time. I've enjoyed these people and being so close to them. I would like to keep it that way.
She tolerates me. That's about as far as it goes.
So anyway, we have been working very diligently at the farm, and things are finally starting to fall together.
Yeah, it really is. I said to you today when we left this morning after our morning round of work at the house, it was kind of tough to leave because the finishes are finishing, and like our master bedroom is legit finished. Mm-hmm. It's completely empty, but it's legit finished. The master bathroom is some base trim.
The bedroom while you're talking.
Okay.
So I'm going to switch over and show you guys. This is our bedroom. So you can see we just installed the ceiling fan, which is a wooden ceiling fan that I'm obsessed with. I was planning on doing wallpaper in this room, but that backfired. So we painted the walls, and we have the wainscoting on the bottom and the window trim. Obviously, there's little details, so you can still see some blue painter's tape there that needs to come down.
Well, the windows need super clean because they're still filthy on the outside from the brick mason repointing all of the brick, and the filthy on the inside from sanding all the floors and doing drywall and plaster and
yeah,
just on and on and on. But
this is the master bathroom. So I know last week we were telling you guys about finishing our subway tile. That is done. Plumbing was installed last week, and the sinks work, the bathtub works. The shower works. The only problem is we don't have hot water at the moment. So
yeah.
As nice as this all looks, it's just a little cold right this second.
Yeah, it's never a dull moment. We installed or had our friends at Integrity install a brand new hot water on-demand boiler system for the hot water heat 2 years ago, and then we did that right after we bought the farm, and then we unhooked that to move all the cast iron radiators and, to be able to redo the floors and all that. So we hadn't been using it at all. Mm-hmm. And then
we were finally ready.
Fast forward to, hey, we need domestic hot water. So they hooked it up, to the domestic side and, got it all ready to run. And the LED touchscreen is all messed up because apparently something hit it over the winter in construction or something, and the screen's no good. And of course it's has no buttons or anything. It's just a touchscreen control. So
yeah.
Touchscreen for it's 2 weeks out. So now we're patiently waiting for a touchscreen for that so we can get domestic hot water.
So in the meantime, I'll go back to the video, but you can see the vanity is a buffet, which is something that I picked up at an antique shop. Hold on a second. I'll switch over to this video. So you can see that buffet there. I refinished that, and we've put the plumbing into it. It's one of the things I'm most proud of. And then my friend Jimmy hooked me up with that sweet lit mirror above it. So that thing's really fun and fancy.
Yeah.
It feels like a big deal. And that bathtub's acrylic, and you would not believe how huge it is. It's everything we dreamed of. How about that?
Yeah, it's definitely big.
My friend Alex was saying about the floors in the bedroom. Yeah, the floors turned out fantastic. I really can't say enough about it. We had sanded down all the rooms except for this room in particular. which, we got help here, and I'll tell you, it's amazing. So I also want to show you, been working pretty hard on the grand staircase. So this is the main entry. We worked to refinish these stair treads. I just painted them over the last 2 days. So the fronts were...
The kickboards you painted, yeah. The actual stair treads are sanded to wood and stained.
Yeah, so we just finished painting those in the same accessible beige color as the trim in our parlor and whatnot. And today I went through and I just cleaned all those spindles. So it just wild how much it changes. So this is from the top, and
it's really hard to believe that that's a 150-year-old banister.
And if you felt it, it is still incredibly solid. It's pretty amazing how well.
Yeah, Cody and Hunter stopped by to drop off some electrical stuff tonight, and Hunter and I were talking about it when we were upstairs about how it is rock solid sturdy, and it's 150 years old. It's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So that's all I kind of have. I didn't think until the last minute that I should upload some videos so they can see what it looks like. So those are just the few that I grabbed off my phone. I'm going to put together a reel and throw it up. But we've just been so busy and trying to work forward that I haven't been taking the time to share anything. But it will come around. I want to jump into the comments real quick because I saw my Aunt Kathy's there. She says everything looks great. Proud of you all. Thank you, Aunt Kathy. And Chucky said it's beautiful. Thank you so much. Bill says the barn is looking good so far. Yeah. This is the house, Bill.
Unfortunately, the barn, the barn's great, but the barn also needs painted and kept up with. And
there's still work to be done outside, but it's actually a funny joke because Adeline calls the farmhouse the barn house.
Yeah.
So there's been some confusion where a lot of her friends and the teacher at school and whatever think that we're moving into the barn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess that's a thing, the barn-dominium things, and people are moving into barns, so everyone thinks we're moving into the barn house. But I'll never want to leave that bathroom. I already feel that way. I am I don't really need a bed in the master because I can just sleep in that tub. I'm good.
Not that I'm glad we don't have hot water, because I'm definitely not glad of that. But I will tell you, if we had hot water there, I'm not too sure that Christa would still be living in a camper. I think she'd have a sleeping bag on the floor in 100%. The bathroom.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm totally okay with the camper. We have a nice, very comfortable bed.
Yeah.
The kitchen's tough. We're just really having to kind of eat out because there's just there's no nice way to cook in a camper kitchen.
Well, it's not even it's just the physical act of cooking is one thing, then the smell doesn't dissipate, and all your stuff smells like the meal you just made, and then the biggest problem for me, because if she does the cooking, I do the cleaning, or vice versa. But I do a lot of cleaning up the kitchen after dinner, and cleaning in a camper kitchen it's miserable. You can't.
Well, I've already caught myself when I'm trying to clean up at the farm that I'm turning the water on and off real quick because of course in the camper you have to really conserve water too. So cleaning takes a whole nother level because you can't run water.
It's crazy.
It's really wild. Hey, I want to jump over to YouTube real quick. Jason said no carpets allowed on the master floor because those woods look great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. Vin also said it looks great. Jason said the staircase is insane. You have to show before and after because it really is a night and day difference. Yeah. It's so funny. Kendall could see my vision, Jason, but very few other people could. When I said, you don't know, it's going to look so great when we're done, people are looking at me like I was crazy. I'm still not done with the staircase. We are stripping all the paint off of the one piece of molding. Molding's not accurate.
Well, it's the trim going up the wall side of the staircase that, the flat board she already has clean, but there is that molding piece. Trim on top there on the left.
Yeah, so the wood side that's towards the wall, I've got the paint stripped off of the bottom part, but now I have to, I did that by hand.
Yeah, there you can see it, yeah.
But now I have to chemically strip the paint on that molding above it, and then I will stain it to match the stair treads and then also the spindles. So that there's still a little bit of work. I can't wait to see what it looks like when that part's done, but it has come a long way. Jason is so right. If you would have seen it before, you would really understand.
I mean, even I don't really know how to explain it. Like the view of that one view that comes by on the video there when you're looking straight up the long set of steps, like looking up the grand staircase. When we first bought the house, the stairs tilted to the left.
Yeah.
Probably, they still lean probably not quite an inch, but they were almost 3 inches out to the left.
Yeah, the staircase was not level at all. It was very, yeah.
So, I mean, even just, not that it's level, but it's so much better now than it was when we started. And I know Christa has a lot of old pictures and videos, and
I do.
She just said something to me the other day about, she's going to, go way back. Like, she's researched clear back to the 1870s. It's how we know when the place was built. And she's going to put together a book, with some old pictures and all of the old information that she's dug up. And then, am I allowed to tell him?
Yeah, sure. I want to put it out in the universe because
she's gonna basically write it'll be a fiction book, but it'll be like based on a true story type, story about how she feels the house evolved from, the farm and the.
So I'm going to try to gather as much of the history of the house as I can and gather it into a historical book on the house. Something that basically I want to live in the house, that if we were to ever not own it, that, it would be there forever, another 100, 200 years. Yeah. And it's going to talk about the families that have lived in it since it was built. But in particular, I'm really interested in the first family that lived there, which was Peter and Amanda Bazier. I just love their story. Peter had built the house when he was like 28 years old. He purchased the land from his father, David, and was married to Amanda, and they built the house and the farm, and he was a full-time farmer until he went to the Civil War and fought for the country. And while he was away, Amanda was home with her 5 children, and she had 5 kids that she was keeping, as well as keeping the farm running. When Peter came home from war, he was 30 years old, and he died. It was a couple of years after he came home from the war, but he died of pneumonia at 30 years old, and Amanda was widowed. At the time, it was early 1900s, and a woman could not own land. So it was actually held in estate. It did not change hands. There was never a time that it went from Peter's name to Amanda's name. It had to actually pass down to her son Elmer, who eventually took over the farm. So it was pretty amazing that in the 1900s, I think 1910, it was listed on the census that Amanda was not only head of household, which would have been kind of wild at the time, but she was also listed as a farmer. So for a woman to be able to be listed as a farmer on a census was also pretty wild. Yeah. So she lived there her entire life, or, her married life, and she actually died in the house. Her daughter, Minnie, also lived there until she passed away, and her son, Elmer, ended up taking it over and farming it, and he lived there until he died. And when he passed away, that is when Kevin's grandfather purchased the property. Yeah. So that was in 1950. And
the year my dad was born.
It was held in the Mumaw. The Mumaws have owned it ever since then. So it's been a rental property most of this time, but as soon as I saw it, I fell in love with it.
Yeah, my parents got married in 1970, and when they got married, they moved in there, and then that's the house I was born in. And then my parents built the house that my mom still lives in today, right, is the top of the hill above the farmhouse in 1977. So, I mean, you know, my parents only ever lived 2 different places from the time they got married till today, and they're like 500 yards apart.
Yeah, it's true. Anyway, pretty exciting stuff. We love the story. I want to start jumping into questions. I know I'm already missing a few questions back in the comments. I've tried to keep on them, but then they get spread out with different comments. So if you guys want to start posting any questions that you have for Kevin and I, please do so in the comments. We'd be happy to answer all of your questions. I just want to thank everyone for all the nice comments about the house. It's been a labor of love. Yeah. So we really appreciate all of the kind things. It really does mean so much more when you do the work yourself too. You know, we've done so much of the work, and we really do appreciate it more than the average person.
You're completely right, and I'm not smirking and discounting.
Yes, you are.
Well, I'm trying not to, but like, we're also to the point to where, I mean, if we had enough money just to throw money at it and have it be done in a week, would be done. I mean, wow.
Yeah, it wasn't like we had a choice, but
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I think everyone has answered a couple of the questions there. In the comments, there was some conversation about the showers for staying at the track, and they talked about
because somebody said, was when you were showing the video of your bathroom, they want to know if that shower was open for race weekends. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. But there are some great showers, and the Anovo shower, it's not so bad. I think they even provide, you guys tell me, I haven't had to go there yet, but the camper might be rough, but it's not been that rough yet. But I think they provide shampoo, conditioner, and a towel, if I remember correctly.
I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, so please, now's the time to post any comments or any questions in the comments. Towels and soap. Yeah. Thank you, Milan.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I know. I've never met them, but I know Christa's met them. The people that are running that or whatever. They were nice people and, seemed to care, so that's cool.
Jason Massey says there's a hose on the side of the shop. Yeah. Hey, listen, I actually won't lie. There's quite a few people that will fill and take showers out in the grass. So there are shower tents set up, especially at our larger events. And
Yeah.
Have those big tubs that are black that get warmed up from the sun. And I mean, that's not working right now. It's too stinking cold.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys know or watch our weather, but it just rains nonstop. Like, it's been raining all day today. Well, it started raining last evening and really hasn't stopped. We haven't gotten any, like, big storms or torrential downpours today, but it just rained all day.
Okay, we have our first question, and it is a pop quiz from Shane Yoder. What's the first vehicle LCRC ever sold to young Gavin Yoder?
A 2-wheel drive Slash.
I do believe that is true.
Yeah.
Shane, please confirm. Is it a 2-wheel drive Slash?
Yeah.
I put it in a question like it was Jeopardy.
No new layout yet, but there is definitely a new layout coming.
Yeah.
We actually... there's basically 3 households that are involved in a layout change. Obviously, our household, Cody and Hunter, Sainer, and then, of course, our friend Dale Steidinger. Basically, not that any one or two of the 3 of us could do a layout change without all 3 of us, but the blue crew comes and tears the pipe off one night, rakes the pea stones and preps the place to get tore apart, and then I usually wreck some of the jumps ahead, and then Cody comes and runs the fire hose while I wreck the rest of the jumps and prep the dirt, and then Cody and I will start dreamcasting the layout, and basically he dreamcasts the layout and I just keep him reined in on keeping it too much like A1 or Supercross. And, we get the layout pretty well dreamed out, and I usually start building one or two of the main obstacles, and then Dale shows up, and 8 hours later we have a layout. That's usually how that goes. And then, of course, we'll bring the Blue Crew back in for an evening, and usually in less than, hour and a half, 2 hours, we have all the pipe back down. And
they do that really quickly.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So Mike says you guys should post a time lapse of the track breakdown and build. I've done that, but it's been a few years.
Yeah.
We should definitely do that. I don't know if that stupid time lapse camera is working at the moment, but we can get that thing working or use it.
I don't even know where it is. Oh. Wow. It's literally staring right at me right now.
Yeah, I was trying to work on it the other day and get it working. We have an outdoor friendly time lapse camera that we purchased many years ago. Actually, that thing's.
Oh yeah, that's older than Adeline.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it was at the wedding.
Oh yeah.
Remember we did the setup and the tear down at the wedding.
Yeah.
But anyway,
God, that video would be something to watch, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we should pull that back up. Yeah.
I wish we had even just a show of how hard we work video on that property, like how that all started and where it ended up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you would
crazy.
believe that we would be willing to do all this work to the farm. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Taylor says, I like Cody's layouts when he's fresh from watching a race. Yeah. You're not alone.
Well, so funny thing about Cody, just like the rest of us, obviously our household included, he got married and had his first child. Notice I said first child. I'm not insinuating anything yet, but anyway, had his first child, and just so happens he got basically married on Cancer Race weekend. The baby came on the next Cancer Race weekend, and of course now our wedding anniversary is basically on Cancer Race weekend.
Kevin's birthday is on Cancer Race weekend.
Cody and Hunter's wedding anniversary is Cancer Race weekend. Henrietta's birthday is on Cancer Race weekend. Like, all of a sudden, the end of September now is, wow, it's full.
Okay, we have a question. Thank goodness. Whose car is used to test the jumps and layout?
Yeah. Pinky, Krista's car is nicknamed Pinky. It is an MBX6 nitro car, converted to electric by a dear friend of mine, C.R. Lovell. Back before Mugen even had e-cars. I know they eventually came out with a Mugen MBX6E, but before the 6 Eco was born, this conversion car Lovell built. It's got low-C radio and servo box. It's got a low-C battery tray.
It works like a champ still to this day.
Yeah, the joke for that car way back when, everybody was building new 7 Ecos, and even clear up to almost when the 8s come out, so-and-so's car was broke. Well, go get Pinky. And they're like, what? I'm like, dude, just trust me. Just drive the car.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
a lot of people drove that car. That was actually my introduction to RC racing. That was before I understood that, like, you would have to get a new car. Like, here's the thing. If you go buy a... What? Are you okay? Is he okay? He ate too much of his paw.
Yeah.
Max is below the desk, and he had a little too much paw.
A little fur ball.
Anyway,
he's fine.
But that was my introduction. If you go buy a Chevy Acadia or a GMC Acadia, when the new model year comes out, you don't have to go buy the newest year. Like, you could just run the old year.
Well, if you're an RC geek, you do.
But so Kevin gets this MBX6, and then it's going to be mine. And he's like, okay, like, now we're on to the 7R, so it's time for you to get at least a 7. And I'm like, no, like, there's nothing wrong with this one. Why would I upgrade and get a 7? There, like, We don't buy new vehicles every time a new model year drops. Like, it's fine that we're... Anyway, I didn't understand, and here we are. Point series. Do y'all count all 6 or drop the worst? We count all 6.
Yep. No drops.
This is something we're going to look at again next year. So if you have an opinion about this, we're open to hearing it. For this year, nothing will change, but we are going to count all 6. But I have heard some people that have valid reasons for wanting a drop. So it is something I am willing to entertain. You're going to have a hard time talking me out of it being all 6.
Yeah, I get it. You know, graduations, proms, weddings, you know. I mean, I get it. But I also, I'm all about, you got to do all 6.
We got a pop quiz number 2. Did Toby take down all his cameras from the showdown? As far as I know, yes.
Actually, you can't. Well, I mean, you can say as far as you know.
Yeah, because I didn't check.
Well, I don't check. He's got GoPros everywhere.
But by now, he would have sent a message and said, "Check the driver's stand for a camera." Or
yeah, but see that's a load because he forgot one at the opener, right? And we were standing out on pit road. That must have been Thursday morning. It started raining. Mm-hmm. We were standing out on pit road, and it was just like a few drops were falling, and we're like discussing like, oh yeah, today's gonna suck because it's gonna rain all day, and you know, whatever. And he looks up and he goes, "Oh, hey mate, yeah, I did forget a bloody camera up there." I'm like, "Yep, sure as hell, yeah, you did." And he's like, "Huh." And he didn't even care.
Well, because he's not buying GoPros anymore. They're a knockoff. I think he said $30. So, or maybe it was $60. But anyway, the cameras he's using, not so bad. But hey, there was another question. Do we use the time-lapse camera to keep Kevin's long story short?
No.
Nope. There's no way. That would work though.
No.
If just fast forward it.
Would you fast forward me, really? That would make me older.
If I could fast forward, I could also pause. I could pause when you're quiet and fast forward when you're telling a really long story about something I'm not very interested in.
Okay, back to that whole pause button thing.
I love you. Dennis says, "You guys are awesome." That's not a question, but thank you very much. You're awesome too.
So back to Dennis is awesome. Okay, this whole thing, and I mean all of it.
You're
like
a little too close to mine.
The LCRC thing, the races, you run a great show. You know, the hobby shop's great. The girls are always taking care of you over the counter and the whole thing. None of that would mean anything if you guys didn't all show up and, you know, make us, number one, not just want to do it, but you guys showing up and providing the level of support for the whole thing that you do has now allowed us to literally do this for a living, which changes the game. Like,
I was talking to the girls today. I went to a girls' lunch, and we were talking about confidence and how confidence changes everything. And I will tell you, there is so much confidence that we get when the racers show up when it's raining, when people always have such nice things to say, that you're willing to try to do something that could possibly be received as like you shouldn't have done that, or that was a mistake. But it's like, for example, the ProTech race, it has a different format. We were always scared to try a different format because we already know this one works. Yeah. And it's hard to go out on a limb and try something new when you don't know if people are going to support it or they're going to trash you. Well, we feel so supported by our LCRC community that we're willing to try things like that. So I think that is really special. Also, I know you haven't had a chance yet to listen to the Slow is Fast podcast that Kendall was part of, but I've only got about halfway through. It's 3 hours long, by the way. 3 hours, yeah. But I'm about halfway through, but it was really nice hearing Kendall talk about, you know, working here. And she did have like the kindest things to say about all the things that we do behind the scenes that people don't realize. You know, she was describing it, and sometimes I forget, so I loved listening to it too. I forget that people don't know what we do.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel like, especially because we're here and we chat with our friends all the time, I feel like they know everything we do, but nobody really knows the things behind the scene, and Kendall really brought that point home. It was very nice. Hey, I have a question for Kevin from Taylor. He says, would you rather a poor quality cell reception phone call with Toby lasting 2 hours or 3 race weekends back to back? How many entry race weekend?
That's such a loaded question because, first of all, a poor quality cell reception phone call with Toby for me lasts about 90 seconds and I'm hanging up.
Yeah.
I have a hard time.
2 hours.
Like, hear me out when I say tolerate. It's not about tolerating Toby. I have a hard time tolerating, like, when Toby and I speak in person, like, mannerisms and facial expressions, and, like, when I bust him for something and he's like, I'm like, come on, like, you know, in the whole thing, and it's banter and it's good, it's fun, we're friends, we love each other, and we, you know, move on. On the phone,
he's harder to talk to on the phone,
and especially Taylor, you know, like, you know, we've gotten pretty close over the last couple of years, and do you and I speak on the phone? Yeah, no, never. I'm not a phone person.
That is not true. That is true in our life right now. When you were a traveler, when you were always traveling, then you talked on the phone a lot.
Yeah, but it's hard to hold a 3-hour phone conversation only traveling 7 miles or less one way.
Totally.
Like, I don't, you know, I
don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that you could talk on the phone when you had the time to do it.
Yeah.
You know, our life just doesn't really account for.
No, I don't have the bandwidth to try to, like, take time to set aside to have some kind of
I think that's kind of cool, though, because when you do have some long conversations with people still, so, like, when you do, that really means something. Yeah. Like, if Tim's still on, I don't know if he is, he talks to people on the phone every single day. But, like, if you talk to somebody on the phone, like, you've literally shut down everything else that you have going on to have a phone conversation. Hey, I want to jump back in the questions unless you want to keep telling a long story.
I do. No, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Nothing else to share?
Sorry, Tim. I was going to talk about
Wouldn't want that. Shane says, any chance of a mom, girlfriend, wife race after the next race? They're absolutely hilarious, and 46RC should record them. Yeah, we can do a Powder Puff race after the Party Rock race. Love to do that.
Here's my, Shane, this is the real, like, no BS answer to that question. If it's a race weekend where we didn't have to sawdust the track 2 or 3 times, and there hasn't been a big huff over, I don't know, we had 485 entries, and, you know, the computer didn't shut down in the middle of an A main, or, like, if everything's going okay,
we would do it every time.
And we had a nice, like, normal race weekend, I'm in. But the problem is, for me, and I'm being selfish right now, till we get, honestly, it's not even till the last main or the podium's over, because basically once that last 10-minute expert e-buggy A main starts, I've clocked out. Like, my only mission is to make sure all those easy ups, tents, tables, and chairs get put away, and I'm done.
But I think a lot of times you forget that you don't have to do anything with the Powder Puff race. So you get a little bit like, no, like, we've already done too much. We're kind of done. This is over. I don't want to ask anything more of my people. But Zach comes out and he announces
no, I know, but you... Daddy, can I... It's a girl race. Can I... And I'm like... You know, I already storage charged your battery. Your car's already put. Oh, yes, okay. So I'm like 20 amp in a 4-cell, and
get over it. Well, anyway,
it's the truth. It's the truth.
Okay, but here's what we're going to do, so that you don't storage charge that. We're going to have a Powder Puff race after the Party Rock.
So,
Unless, obviously, if there's a rainstorm coming or whatever. Otherwise, we're going to plan on it.
Does that mean Adeline drives Pinky, or
I'm driving Pinky?
So
actually, I think I'll drive your car.
Okay.
That thing worked really good the other day. Anyway, we have more questions. So,
do you know why it works so good?
Why?
Because it still has the setup on it from Traeger doing it at Motorama 2 years ago.
Well, I don't know. It hooked up really well.
Yeah.
It also didn't feel that fast. Is that?
That's because Mayfield and Drake put some funky firmware or something in the speed control, and yeah, I don't know.
I really like, there's some people in the comments that said no drops. I like it. I like that everyone's on board with the no drops. Very cool.
Me too.
My friend Gabby, every time I watch this live, I can hardly believe I know you in real life. Aw, that's so nice.
Hi, Becca.
Hi, Beckett. That's a nice thing to say. Yeah. I am lucky to know you in real life, Gabby. Yeah. ProTech has a different format. Oh, yes, Mike. ProTech does have a different format.
Yeah, so...
It's actually a really cool format.
What I'm about to say in the next 90 seconds or more, do not hold me to it, because I might say something wrong. But
oh, my.
Basically, we run 2 rounds... And I'm pretty sure it's set up to be like normal qual point 2 rounds, and you qualify into what we call the Super Cup round.
Yes.
Right? Which essentially it's mains. It's like pre-mains.
It's heads-up racing, so you're going to start on the grid just like you would in a main.
Yeah.
And then if you finish in the top spot...
Well, we don't... How is it? We only take 10. We take 10 to the Super Cup round.
10 per main or for
the Super Cup round. We take 10, because if you win, say you're in like the B or the C heat, main, whatever you want to call it, for the Super Cup round, if you win that lower main, you then bump your car 11 for the next day in the main above you.
Bump to the next main. Then on Sunday, there's still a bump game like normal.
Yeah. Once the mains are set for Sunday, we took 11, we bumped 2. Sunday is completely normal. The only thing that is really abnormal is that 3rd round, which we call the Super Cup round. And then Surrey's trying to chime in on Super Cup round. Alex Schultz, you have not experienced a late night in the booth nightmare as you will doing, and Ed, you can chime in and back me up on this. Redo, because the software doesn't score this format properly, so we actually finish the event after the Super Cup round, and then we have to hand or manually re-enter all of the data and the entries into a new event for Sunday to set up the mains.
It's a lot of work.
It is, but I really like. It's super cool, and I'm willing to do the extra work because I believe in that format. I think it's super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, man, you get to run 2 rounds of qualifying on time, and then you get this. Heads up race that not that it doesn't mean anything, because you can kind of blow out of it and still survive. If you ran 2 qualifying rounds and you were, I don't know, CQ, and you blew out in the Super Cup round, you're still in the C for Sunday. Mm-hmm. The winner goes to the next main, but 2 through 10, that just dictates where you start for the main the next day.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. I like it.
So I'm going to jump into another comment that I'm going to turn into a question, which is something that I heard in some comments post the last race, which was conversation about Friday hosting a pit guy challenge. I love the idea of scrapping the cornhole tournament for a Friday pit party and doing a Pitman Challenge. I haven't had a chance to ask you about this yet. It's in my inbox, and I've been leaving it unread to ask you about this. But there was also a question about a concourse race, and I don't know what a concourse thing is.
That's pretty bodies.
So how do you have that? Like, what's the...
So I don't...
10 scale does it a lot?
I'm going back to my childhood because I've never experienced this as an adult.
Okay.
But back in my childhood running pan car, at big races, they had concourse, which was if you had this fancy painted body, you could bring your car down for the basically the beauty contest.
Okay.
And if you won or placed...
But how do you win? Who judges
well,
that?
The sanctioning body, or like if say we were going to do it here, right? We would pick, like if Matt Adams was here, he's a painter friend of mine, Mike Treharn. Yeah. I would go out in the crowd and I would pick a couple painter people, and maybe like Schreffler's not a painter, but Schreffler's known a lot of painters and is super into like crisp lines and like knows what's up, right? Mm-hmm. So I would pick 3 people like that, and then they would judge, and whoever they picked, and there's different categories, like there's most artistic, there's most or best, I don't know, like crisp lines and original designs or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But the deal is, if you place, you have to run that body in the main. Like, you can't just show up with a shelf queen.
This is an actual class.
No, it's anyone that's registered in the event.
Oh, so it can be in any class. Yeah. But then you have to run that body.
It's anyone that's a race entry can come in it. Like, one of the novice kids could show up with a 2-wheel drive Slash with this fancy painted body. Or Schreffler could show up with his... Why do you have to run it? Because if you don't run it, you don't get the award. Because the whole deal is you can't just show up with a shelf queen. And
so is that all you get as an award, or is there like prizes and stuff to go with it?
No, you get I won the best paint job body.
Okay, now let me ask you this: would this be, as you would say, voodoo? Could we have people apply for concourse by sending a picture in before an event, and we could post the pictures of each of the bodies on our Facebook page, and they could like and comment to pick our winner for concourse, and then why? That's good for social media. That's marketing.
Well, I understand that, but they have to show up with it and have it mounted on the car.
Yeah, but they're just on pit applying ahead of time. Maybe the social vote could be 1/3 of the winning vote.
You could do
social people could be 1 of 3 votes.
You could have a social media fan favorite winner. Like, that could be an award by itself.
One of the things.
Yeah. What?
Mike Malone says, "Can we have more waffles and prizes?" Yeah, we can. I'm so listen, guys. We usually do a little better at this.
So.
What were you gonna say? You're cutting me off, but then you're not talking.
I am, because I wanted to say I handle this mostly, but that's not even true. You do a lot of it too. We lean on, to be honest with you, I'm going to say 4 companies, but it's really 3. We lean on Mugen Racing, which is Mugen USA, which is Flashpoint. Okay, so we lean on Mugen and Flashpoint. I know it sounds like 2 companies, but it's really 1. We lean really hard on J Concepts, and we lean on ProTech, which is A-Main. Okay, those 4 brands, which are really truly only 3 companies, they supply us with, I mean, not counting the cancer race, because that's a whole different animal. So our other 6 races, they contribute 99% of what we raffle or give away, or, you know. It's exhausting to try to get someone to donate stuff to you. And I don't, it's a slippery slope conversation.
Yeah, so I want to add to this. So generally in the past, what we do is because we only have a group of people that we reach out to, like I get a hold of Allison and I'm like, hey, listen, I want you to come heavy in these races that I don't have a lot of support from other people. Do this one, and I'm going to let you show up on all the flyers for Mugen, and you really don't have to give me anything for Mugen because I'm well covered in other places. So that's really the way that we handle that. This year, we just haven't been on the ball because of our life being upside down, and
also true.
We gotta get back on it, and we're slacking. Yeah, but we're gonna write that note down right now for me, to check in with sponsors and get some. It is a lot of work. People do not realize the work it takes to get. That's the new list. Giveaways. Okay, and we will definitely do more waffles. Kendall is so good at that, so it'll be great to do that. There was some more comments about concourse in there, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned to you that Uncle Mike had said that he could help with ProTech with doing that. The stuff at the end of the ProTech race to resort. And Alex jumped in the comments and said he's wonderful at helping, and he has his laptop there. He would be able to do that. Yeah. So that would be great. I think we'll lean on you for that. So. Yeah. Gabby said, I just had an idea, some local field trips. Yes, we've had a field trip here before. It was Head Start. That was a bad idea. Those kids were definitely too young for what we had planned for them. Ooh. That was horrible. Won't do that again, but get in touch with me. Older kids, that's something we could definitely look into.
Let's talk maybe like 2026 if we could.
Okay, and so Mike says my local track gives out store gift cards for prizes. That's a great idea too. So yeah, thank you. That's a good one. How about concourse inverse? Ugliest body. Ooh, okay. Hey, I'm not against that as one of the classes too. So we will definitely talk more about this concourse thing, and if that's something that interests you, talk to us more about it because that's new to me.
So. My thought was, put more on our plate, which brought me back to your pit guy challenge thing.
Yes.
So we're one decoder short of a good time in that department because we need an entrance and an exit loop to do this right. Like if you want to do it, okay. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm gonna have to talk her into buying another decoder. No, I'll get with Aaron at Richfield. We'll just need. I'll have to get with Brandon at LCRC. They have some new technology that is basically like they have a tote that's like all battery powered stuff, and you can makeshift this little loop and like put it in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If you have the $3,000 decoder to put in the box. We have two. We have obviously the one for the off-road and the one from the oval. Mm-hmm. So we could use the oval one for the exit or entrance, and we'll see if we can borrow Richfield's for that. I just have to get the little frilly stuff to. That's doable.
I love that idea.
Especially
we had planned on doing some, late model races by now. So maybe that could be I think it's fun.
Yeah. Speaking of late model races and the oval and all that. Which, by the way,
there was a question about oval in the comments from Matt Adams.
Yeah. Listen, we had the life plan was to have already been screening soil and be working on the oval by now, but
that was before we were homeless.
Yeah. Listen, my household is in survival mode right now, and
I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to lean on some help to be able to make the dream race happen. Kevin and I are very bad at asking for help.
Well, it's not even about
Kevin. You're bad at asking for help.
That's not the point. We have to get a screening machine in and get this dirt screen. That's the big deal. And it won't stop raining.
Yeah.
We're homeless, and we're wore out. So we have to get...
Yeah.
Before I can devote any extra time to trying to get... Not just get a screening machine, but when we get a screening machine lined up, it is full on...
For days on end.
No, it's 7 days straight, like 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
Because
they barely sleep. They just load it because it's so expensive to rent that you can't let it sit there not working.
It runs 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
And
you know who will help you with that? Shane Laux. He is like dying to run some equipment. He had said if you need the track taken down.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. We have to schedule it not just when we can get the screening machine, but I got to get lined up with, Dale and his household on when the T-tag's available. And
so Shane and Michelle, Shane just said the Tricky Tiger could make an appearance for the field trip. I just have to talk about this for a second. So Gabby, if you're still on, this will be fun for you. We did a what would you call that? It wasn't a
it was.
We went to the elementary school and we did an RC show per se. Okay, so
it was like a
assembly.
Yeah. Sorry.
So we did an assembly, and it was RC related. So we talked a little bit about what we did, and then we had set up a little track. And we ran a little bit to show them, and then we gave the remote controls over to some teachers and had the teachers go out and do a race. Well, we had a Tricky Tiger, an EJ Tiger, which happened to be Shane Nipple. And if somebody was doing way too well, the Tricky Tiger would go out there and he would flip the car upside down, or he would mess with the race somehow to keep it even.
Or blindfold the driver.
Yeah, he would take his hands
mess
over
with
there.
Him, something.
It made it fun, and then like the kids would have to be like, "Stop, Tricky Tiger," and to get him to go away, or like, "Go away, Tricky Tiger." So it was super fun. Shane, thank you for being such a good sport about that. He liked it way too much. Oh, he loved it. Yeah. He had a cane at one point, and he was like trying to pull people off the stage, and it was just so fun. So, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but bad news.
What?
The tiger head.
Oh. It was a total loss in our flood, so there is no more Tricky Tiger head.
Yeah.
We'll have to get a new mascot.
It was one of the things that met the demise in the roof blowing off and the whole bit. Yeah, it was...
Poor Tricky Tiger.
Yeah.
The pit challenge would be awesome. 2 classes, a single pit guy and a dual. Oh, that's a good idea. Good thinking that you should maybe separate that.
Yeah.
Shane says, "Can you make Gavin do a shoey if he wins a race?" What's that mean?
Drinking out of a shoe. No, that's disgusting. No shoeys.
No shoes. See my comment above. You don't have to ask for help. You just need to say yes when I offer. I know, but we're bad at that. We're really, really bad at that. Matt Adams says, "I'd come help. I have lots of vacation and can't. Oh, I can't use it because it won't stop raining." Yeah, I totally get that, Matt. I'm going to twist his arm. We're going to make a date, and I'm just going to open it up that, yes, we need help. Come and just help us, because that's where we're at. Brady says, "I can always swing by and lend a hand." I know you guys are so willing.
Swipe for no swiping.
That's exactly what it was like. I know. Look at Shane is so sad about Tricky Tiger. Yeah. Gabby says, "That's amazing." Beckett is wondering what Adeline's doing tonight. She is in bed because she is wore out. She had she's these last few days, honestly, at the beginning of staying in the camper, which has now been a month ago, she did really well and she was sleeping very well out there. As of lately, she is not sleeping well. We have to kind of sit outside and let her fall asleep because the camper rocks like a boat, and then we wake her up and she's like, "Why are you guys moving?" And I'm like, "I didn't move." And she's like, "Yes, you did. The whole thing's moving." So her sleep has not been going well, which is one of the reasons that we've been on a hard push to get out to the farm, because nobody's sleeping well. Because if one person doesn't sleep well in a camper, nobody sleeps well in a camper. So that has been a bit of a struggle. But the home stretch is ahead of us. So the house is closing in. Kevin's been working on the electrical. It's so funny, but like having light switches and
Covers.
receptacles has like been such a game changer. Also, they were like that really ugly yellowed color before, and now they're all
ivory.
white.
It's called ivory.
Whatever.
It's ivory.
He had to actually ask me what color covers and switches I wanted.
That's not true. That's not true. I said at one point, you're going white switches and receptacles everywhere, right?
No, you literally said, what color switches and receptacles do you want? And I was like, who that is young would pick anything other than white?
She's full of crap.
Oh,
It's not what I said.
Dennis and Rob say hello.
Hi.
They're on their way to the Pro-Am race. Have a wonderful time. I'm going to be watching. I'm excited about that.
Why'd Chuck say busted? Busted for what?
I don't remember.
Dude, I live my life in marital jail. You can't get busted when you're already in a
I
pokey.
don't even
like
think
what?
that's what it was about.
Oh.
Gosh, what marital jail? Thank you. Vin also said that Aiden and Dylan are down to help this summer. Yes, we know that you guys are so willing to help, and we are so grateful. We're just really bad for asking. It's been a wake up call for us through this roof flying off. That like I have so many people offering to help. They're begging to help. They just want to do something. They want to feel like they're helping, make a meal or whatever. But I'm just like, I don't know what to say I can take. You know what I mean? Like you guys are busy too. Like I don't want to take anything from you. I don't want to take your time. I don't want to. Oh, shake it. Hey, we're busted for shaking the trailer. That was not marital jail. That was. No, I wish we were shaking the trailer.
Yeah.
None of that.
No, that's. I'd like to say that was funny, but no, it's not even reality. Like we can't even. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We
could have picked Jack for switchblades.
Listen, we own 2 houses and 2 campers and a farm and a beautiful wooded property that we got married on, and we can't live in any of it.
We will, though. It's not long. It's not going to be far away. We're going to be fine. Appreciate all of you guys. That's it for us for tonight. I want to just take a moment and thank you all for being incredibly supportive. Thanks for all the great questions in the comments. Have a great time at your races that you're headed to, and we appreciate you and all of your orders online at lcrcraceway.com.